The last meeting theory states that when two people are no longer intertwined with one another, they will never see each other again. They will never look at each other again. They will never cross paths with this person again. It's a theory that I've kind of believed in, and I kind of do in a way, because you were so intertwined with that person. You knew them in and out. You did a lot of stuff. A lot of memories were shared between the two of you. And when it's all said and done, you will no longer meet that person because they are no longer in the same path as you. They are no longer meant to be with you or be around you, and for that matter, because you won't see them. And it's a good theory. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a very good theory that when this person is no longer on the same path with you, on the path that you're on, you won't see them again. You won't meet them again. I remember my homegirl told me, she was like, I have not seen my ex, and we live literally like 5 minutes apart, like 5, 10 minutes apart from each other. And I have never seen him once since we broke up. And it kind of left my head scratching, like, really? They live that close to you and you've never seen them. And I remember in high school, there was this girl that I dated, and she had to move. She unfortunately had to move out of state. And I never saw her again. Never did. I think she did visit Oregon once, but I never did see her. There have been many people that have crossed my life. There have been many people that I've met in high school, many people in middle school, and they don't cross my life. I don't cross paths with them. I think if someone is really meant to be in your life, you will see them on a consistent basis. You will see them often. I remember when me and my ex broke up, I wanted to see her so badly. I wanted to kind of catch her in the open, in public, just to see her, just like one last time. But I never did. I never did. For I would say 3, 4 months, it was just pure radio silence, nothing. And it wasn't until like July, we broke up in February, July, that I finally saw them again. And it felt so weird. I remember when I saw her, it was like, it was fight or flight at that moment. I like ran the other way. I like looked the other direction. I just walked away. I couldn't look at her in the face because I knew that if I did, I'd freak out. I knew that if I did, everything in that moment would come back to me. Everything in the past would come back to me in that exact moment. So I just looked away, and I thought that would be the end of it, but no, I would then see this person again in end of August to like beginning of October. It would be like a weekly or every other week that I would see them for a month straight, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, how do I don't know how to react. I thought we weren't meant to be with each other. I thought we aren't meant to see each other anymore. And I like to think of it as life will throw you a curveball. Life will throw you a curveball when you least expect it. Because tell me why. During that time that I didn't see her, I wanted to see her. But then when I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to kind of get just kind of focus on myself and be done with this. It threw me that again of like, oh nope, she's back. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, all right, I guess so. I guess this is what we're gonna do. People aren't meant to be in your life if they are no longer in the same path as you. And I fully believe in that. Because if you guys were so intertwined, they were meant to be in your life. I mean, you kind of did put them in your life. But when you guys finally have ended, when you guys finally are done, you will never see a trace of them ever again. And if you do see them, sometimes I like to think of it as just life testing you, life trying to test the waters. Because I feel like when you do see them, it's at a point where you're finally like, okay, I think I'm ready to move on. I think I'm finally ready to kind of focus on myself, or go see new people, or talk to new friends, or make new friends. It'll be at that point where life will throw you that curveball of, okay, let me throw them at you one more time and see how you'll react. I remember also back in high school, that girl that moved. Yeah, tell me why. My high school graduation, I was already at the point of, oh, I'm so ready to like move on from like my high school relationship. I'm so ready to move on because I was still like mourning it. I was still like upset about it. I'm still like, oh, heartbroken. But graduation day happened, and I got a message from her just at the point where I was so ready to kind of move on from it. Life will throw you that curveball as well. And nowadays, now it's been, a whole year. I haven't seen any glimpse of her. Granted, there is a lot of stuff I know about her still. I don't kind of go out of my way to go search for this person, or go out of my way to see this person, or go out of my way and be like, I hope to see this person, because again, they're in my past, and I've finally been able to let it go, and give it grace, and put it to rest, and I'm happy about that. I think if you see them again and see them consistently, then there is still something that needs to be resolved, either whether that's in within you by yourself, or within them by themselves, or about you two, about each other. But I think when that's finally completed, when they have finally completed their purpose in your life or their purpose within you, you don't see them again, because that chapter of your life is finally done. That chapter of your life is finally finished. And I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, they're going to come back in your life, you're going to see them again. No, if you don't see them, and it's been a while, know that are done. Know that it's done, and accept it. And I know it's harder to do than to say it. It's easier to say this and be like, yeah, just accept it, than to actually put the work in, and really accept it. But you can beg, and you can pray, and you can hope that you see them again. And it might not come true, because I did that. I wanted to see them, but I never did. And it wasn't until I finally was able to finally say, okay, I think I'm ready to kind of move on from this. I think I'm ready to finally let this go, that I got to see them. But it kind of gave me that feeling of, why now? And I'm going to tell you again, in January, when I was finally ready to let it go too, when I was finally moving on from it, I would say officially moving on from it, and finally being able, like, okay, I think I can go see other people and see how things go with other people now. Life decided to throw that curveball at me, and remind me of the past, and remind me of this person, because they reached out to me personally. And while they did apologize, and I liked that, I kind of was like, why now? So what I'm saying here is, the last meeting theory states that when you two are no longer meant to be with each other, you will never see this person again. Permanently. There will be instances where you probably might see them. But in those instances that you do see them, are you seeing them because you're at that point now where you're over it, where you're like, I want to move on, and life just decided to throw this curveball at you to see how you react? Or are you genuinely crossing paths with them, and is it leading it up to something between you two? Now, the second option is very rare. I'm going to be honest here. It is very rare. Okay. So don't assume that it applies to you. Okay. But the first option, I like to think, because it's happened to me multiple times, of where I get to a point that I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. That life decides to be like, oh, well, all right, you say that. Let's let's see how you react. And it's like, oh, okay, all right, I got to deal with this now. When you and this person are no longer on the same path, you won't see them again. Today's recording is here at Dawson Creek in Hillsboro, Oregon. It is my last day here. It is dark, as you can tell. The camera is more darker than what I actually see here. Okay, so don't think it's like super, super dark. Man, this is my last day being here at Dawson Creek, and I just have to say, being sitting here in this bench got to be one of the top 10 best places to have a picnic, or to have like a very deep conversation with someone. Because tell me why, this is so beautiful. This river here is so nice. The ducks that come by are so nice. I have so many memories of when I was a kid flood back into me. And I'm very happy to be here. Honestly, I'm very happy to do this, because I have to be honest here. I've always wanted to get out. I've always wanted to explore more of my hometown, more of Oregon, more of my home state, rather. So doing this, getting out, going on a walk, honestly, if you have not gone on a walk, I'm going to say this now, go on a walk, please. You do not know how much it kind of eases you. Because for me, I go on a walk, and it's like whatever I'm thinking about, like whatever's stressing me out, or whatever like big thought that's in my head, kind of just goes away, or it just kind of like lifts up off my shoulders, and I just kind of relax, just kind of hear the water, hear the birds, hear the ducks, and just chill. So if you haven't gone on a walk, summer days are up ahead. Go on a walk, go on a hike, go on a run. When was the last time I went on a run? Oh, probably like a year, 2 years ago, somewhere around there. Remember that every day is a day closer. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, or next month, rather. But as long as you do it every day, you are one step closer to achieving that dream. You are one step closer to achieving that goal. And you are one step closer to becoming that person that you truly And I mean it, truly want to be. And with that being said, this is Geo, I guess, signing out from Dawson Creek. And I'll be back in a totally new location. Deuces, guys.